Before the video starts, I just want to explain that the video you're about to watch, it's from a couple months ago. And back then, obviously, I didn't know this was going to happen, but we have a complete YouTube name change, and I hope you guys like it. I decided to go with the new name, Stoic Drifts, because I thought it'd be easier to brand. And I do want to make merch for you guys, for you guys to help me out with what I'm doing with projects. And so, anyways, at the end of the video, I'm going to explain more information on the radiator setup because I didn't talk about the fittings and stuff. And so stay tuned till the end of the video for that. It's going to be awesome. Rear mount radiator. I mean, who doesn't like that, you know? By the title of the video, you guys already saw, we're doing a rear mount radiator on the S14 drift car. Now you may be asking yourself, why would you do a rear mount radiator? To that, what do you say to that, man?
Don't question it.
So with the LS E30, it was great. It did feel a little heavy up front. And the way I counteracted that was by running a 16K spring rate in the front, and I had a 10K spring rate rear, which is not ideal, but it works. We can both agree it works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But now I want to do things different. See, now I'm leveling up. Now I got a Nick. This Nick 2.0 right here.
This is like Nick 3.0, man. I'm buying on some crazy shit.
This dude's on X Games mode, and he knows a lot and stuff, and he's an aluminum guy, you know? He does work for free. Anybody hit him up. I'm just kidding. I decided to go rear mount radiator because I didn't want to have all the heat soaking nonsense happening up front, and plus the engine bay looks so much cooler without a radiator. Only freaking scrubs run radiators up front, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we are going to be throwing the radiator in the back for weight distribution and most importantly for cooling. It is a drift car. An LS runs very hot at all times. I overheated the E30 one too many times, warped the heads, and I just don't want that to happen. You know, I want to delay that. And so with that, we're going to throw the radiator in the back. This radiator was purchased from
Champion Radiators. It's a 28 by 18, right? That's what it was.
28 by 18, really big chunky
Just
boy.
a dual pass. It's like a universal 28 by 18.
Yeah.
And we didn't need anything specific because, as you can see, all the bungs they put on, we cut them off.
Yep.
The cap they put on, we cut it off.
The cap's on.
We added our
that
own
side.
standoffs, made our own fan shroud. So really, we just needed the core and the end tanks and
Build off of that. We understand what's going on.
It's very simple.
Like,
man.
the viewers are probably asking, what's a standoff?
Okay, a standoff. The plan to mount the radiator is, you know, we can't just weld this aluminum radiator into the car. That would be kind of ridiculous, you know. So we need something to mount a tube to.
A
so
tube
this,
made out of?
This is just a washer.
No, but like this is steel, right?
Okay, yeah, a steel tube.
Yes.
This is gonna get kind of like welded to the car in a way.
Correct.
This is an aluminum standoff right here. This is an M8 by 1.25. This side is actually closed off, which means that we can drill a hole after machining it down and drop it in there. The reason I did that is that way I keep the length, so I have enough length to put like a decent sized bolt in there. And it'll stay sealed, but it's not like sticking out of the radiator like that.
Yeah.
To where it's like
it'll be like
sticking out.
nice and flush.
Nice and flush. They have other, like these ones here weren't like that. These just sat on top. But this is only holding the fan shroud on, so it's a little M6.
We needed this space too because the fan shroud kind of like,
yeah,
you know,
exactly. But in this case, like we don't want like a 1/2 inch of thread holding the actual radiator on.
Yeah.
So this is gonna allow it to go deep, but it must be closed off on the back. If it has a
Yes.
hole in it, you can't do that because these threads are not going to seal water.
Correct.
So
yeah,
these are going to get welded on, and then this is a tube with a washer welded to it. I'm going to drop that bad boy in right there. See? Now you got a nice way to mount it up. So once this is welded on the bottom and this is able to bolt on, now we have a steel part that we can weld a tube to and attach it to the car, and it works out pretty good.
We're transitioning from aluminum to steel, and this is
pretty nice. I would say it's a kind of a cool way to do it. You know?
Yeah, that's tight.
So
this is Nick 3.0 stuff right here, man.
Yeah. I did this in my car, and it came out pretty good. I like it. It looks kind of fancy.
Sick. So Nick did make me a custom fan shroud, and this fan shroud is holding two Delta Pag, I think I'm saying that right, 14-inch fans. These are, I believe, 2600 CFM each, which translates to a lot of freaking air. I will be able to fly with this if I angle this in the wrong direction. For example, if I angle this down, I will be creating lift from the rear of the car. So one thing that I decided to go with on the mounting is I did not want the radiator mounted to the rear frame rail of the car. So in case I do hit the edge of the car, and if this crumbles in any way, I don't want the mounts down here, because then that's going to immediately snap something on the radiator. So from those side mounts, these standoffs, right, we're going to make some poles, some little attachments that are going to go to the strut towers. And the strut tower should be a pretty safe spot to be in. So if this shifts or anything, the radiator is going to be floating back here, and we'll be safe. So that's kind of an idea. We're gonna run with it. It should work. Should be nice. And yeah, we'll just go from there, man. Nice. Now you have some little handles to hold on to. So kind of mock it up how the angle and everything that we thought how we're gonna do it.
So it'll be something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it might change once we start mounting it. But
I don't think so.
the fans are going to be on the back side. We have puller fans, and the idea is that they will be pulling from somewhere.
Yeah, I haven't really talked about
Somewhere,
that.
yeah, we're not, haven't quite decided, but we have some cool ideas.
Yeah.
But pulling through this way and then kind of pushing out, so that way when he turns the fans on, he gets some extra power. You know what I mean?
So I told them that if I'm not careful and I aim those fans directly down, I'm gonna create lift in the rear.
Lose grip.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like as I floor it and the car squats and I want to counteract the squat,
It's almost like any
and I
squat.
turn on my fans and I'm like,
Some kind of active toe back there.
so from here, we're gonna tube notch a little tube, and then from here we're gonna go, and then go to a flat part somewhere over here. It's kind of the idea. It'll work. It'll be fine. It'll make more sense once we have like the tube going across. But
And then these holes that you see, these are like leftover holes from the cap that we took off.
yeah,
And those are
there was like
these are the ports, like the regular
the hose button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are gonna get capped because we want our ports on this side, and it doesn't matter where you put them.
Yes.
As far as like front, top, back, side, whatever, as long as you got one on the top, one on the bottom. This is a dual pass for those that don't know. This here is a plate that splits this tank. So we're gonna have water flowing through half the radiator and then flowing.
It forces it to go. It forces it to go through these little channels, and then once they hit here, it's forced to return to the other side because the exit's on there.
Exactly.
So you start you utilize all the little, with the dual pass. Bro, what is going on? The last clip we recorded, we were just like holding it up, hooking it up, and here we are, nice and mounted. All right, go.
Okay, all right. Is it recording?
Yeah,
I
man.
hear the little ding.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so we just threw this together real quick. It only took like a little bit. Laser leveled as best as we could to get the radiator
Nice and
somewhat
symmetrical.
straight. Yeah. And then just weld to these tube ends. So now if we need to take the radiator out, we're going to unbolt in here.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I can get that on camera.
It's probably kind of dark in there.
Oh no, I can see it. Look at that little 10 mil in there. Nice.
Yeah, so you can stick a socket in there, unbolt it. The bottom is going to have the same. George had decided to go ahead and put a bar across the bottom.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
if that was noted before.
No, it was not. So, since the radiator is going to get real heavy with all the fluid and stuff, we added this bottom bar to support the weight. And with the weight supported, it's going to prevent the aluminum tabs. What are these little things called again? The little aluminum. Yeah, the standoffs. So, with all the vibration and clutch kicking and throwing the car around, the aluminum standoffs are definitely going to break. So now that it sits and the majority of the weight will be on this bar at the bottom, we can prevent that. And so it's like weighted down and then just held at the right angle with these little bars going across.
If you were unable to do that,
Do what?
like put any support on the bottom, because the radiator does have to float, and you're gonna rely only on these standoffs. You can add like a little square, like weld a square of aluminum you know, and just kind of reinforce this whole thing. I'd be worried, I guess, maybe about this stuff bending. Like if I grab this bar, I could probably bend all the surrounding metal.
Yeah.
So I'll just add like this reinforcement of like a square right here.
It'll probably break like right off the weld if it is gonna break.
It might have not broken.
Yeah.
But it could have broken.
Yeah.
But it could have not broken.
But
it could have broken.
Could have broken. I got information from someone who's done this. They're NFD, and someone did a floating radiator. So if they did get hit in the rear end and the whole frame bends inwards, the radiator's safe. The problem with that was all the vibration broke the mounts on the radiator. So that's why now I'm supporting the weight.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on since the, oh man. Okay, so we're just focused on the radiator. Ignore everything else. Focus on the radiator. We went with -16AN fittings, right? To fill the radiator, we added a bung, a little -10 that goes up and over to an expansion tank. The expansion tank has to be higher than the tallest point of the radiator so it could gravity feed down and fill this thing. Now, continuing on the conversation with gravity, the import, which is down here, the radiator feed has to be higher than the point of your electric water pump. If you're going electric water pump, once the radiator fills up with water, you want gravity to trickle down into the feed line of the water pump, and then you want water to reach that with pure gravity. Because once that happens, you turn on the water pump, and then it'll all self-bleed, and everyone's happy. If the water pump is higher than this point, water won't go over that hump, that line, if that makes sense. I hope it does. I'm gonna just leave it at that to simplify things, but fantastic. But anyways, a nice little short and sweet explanation on the fittings. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like always, like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mom. Appreciate you guys. Peace.